Have you seen the Inspired interview? He supposedly flames Jensen. Where? Is it on Reddit?
Is my MVP vote absolute robbery? Let's start there. It is Inspired. Is it Casper Sloma?
Yeah.
Sloma.
Yeah.
Casper Inspired Sloma, my MVP. That was pretty crazy. It went to Quid.
Yeah.
I feel like River stole some votes from you because he was very good at that team too. And when you look at the other parts, which is what I've learned from other voters, it's like if you look at the rest of the team, you take them out, they don't do as well. Which I understand, but you were so suffocating. That's the best word for a jungler that's dominant. It's suffocating. And I thought you were super suffocating. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't have many bad games in regular season. Like, I think even if the games were losing, it was usually not because I was playing bad or I was not decisive or something like that. I think I was playing very well every game. And when we played against 100 Thieves, to me it felt like Quid is like really pussy player. Like he's just farming his minions, not trying to win the game. Like he was basically a player that does nothing and wins if you int into him. You know what I mean? Like he's not like the player.
He would punish.
Yeah,
he would punish.
He would punish if you int,
Yes.
but he will not create opportunities. Like Jojo, for example, he's creating opportunities. When I play, I also try to create opportunities. I think mid lane has so many possibilities to create stuff because mid lane has TP. That's first thing. He has TP all the time on the map. He right now meta is engage champs, Annie, Ari, Talia, everything. So as mid laner, you can create stuff if you are good. And against Quid, I just felt like he was just farming, and then if you feed into him, he will just become strong, and then obviously he will kill you. So I didn't think he's good. That's why for me MVP was either me or Jojo. I still think Jojo is really good. So yeah, but I see why people voted for him. I don't really mind.
Dude, if he flames Jensen and in the same interview is like sucking Jojo off, that is so strange.
Be kind of
To be
MVP
Jensen,
playing
but
this in
we'll see.
final.
We'll see how he
I
actually
didn't
says.
play too well today. I mean, I didn't play bad, but I think when I had opportunities, I should have called stronger for it. Like I think in the clutch moments, game 3 and game 4, I think if I was more like decisive, we could have won. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, not quite MVP performances, but you played on Vi, game 1, and then you went Lee Sin, Diego, Lee Sin.
Game 1 was not my fault. Game 1 was just Jensen's fault. I think he just played like vegan.
Yeah.
And our bot lane was inting.
Yeah.
And game 2, I think we all played pretty well. Game 3, I think it was my fault on the top fight.
What the fuck, bro? Okay. Let's see.
This series could.
Was Jensen playing like a vegan this game?
With early game damage.
Let's see. I think this game had a horrible draft. Like FlyQuest had a horrible draft. I don't like Sedge. I especially don't like Sedge Slayer Renekton topside, and enemy AD is trolling by not going cleanse, but I understand why he has heal because it's a hard matchup. But like cleanse and Merc Treads just counters like all of these champs, including Ashe. And I guess he's upset that Jensen didn't create opportunities, but bot lane is 100% just getting steamrolled. I don't understand. How is he flaming Jensen for this game? This is this is or wait, this is not the finals. I'm trolling. I'm sorry. That's totally not the right game. It's the Vi game.
What you will play. Cooking. It is the grand finals here.
I'm grieving. Let's see what happened. Jensen is playing like a vegan on Karma.
Bottom side of the map. So far, Jan also stacking pretty decently here in the range plus melee matchup. Not too troublesome.
But guys, like he's playing Karma. I mean, I don't really know what that means. Like playing like a vegan on Karma.
Counter pick comes in the fight, tries to flash out, gives up the first blood. I think you're gonna be thanking your lucky stars that went to
Karma's a vegan champion. Like I don't see anyone engaging with Karma. You can like mantra Q, but
you do have someone who has to go base, and you've got the roam down the other side.
Also is actually back in the pixel brush mid the middle of the
isn't
line.
this game
He
also
wasn't gonna
just
stay
draft
there, so
if?
he's not gonna stay there. Maybe Busio thought
And I was just vegan there. Like I don't even, like we were running on the TF that had no flash. and Jensen was not flashing instantly, so I didn't know what he wants to do. Like when I was running, I was thinking maybe I will just ult flash and just slow him with Viego, but then I was like, maybe surely Ani just ult flash. Ani doesn't ult flash, and then we see Jax in lane, and then Ani ult flash, when I was like already trying to kind of back up. But I think if I just keep going forward, we'll win that 2v2, and I will get a lot of gold there instead of Jax getting a lot of gold there, and we will be able to win the game. I think that was like a pre-vegan play by me there. And then in teamfights, I think Jensen kind of misplayed later, because we told him like, just don't ult TF, he has QSS, just ult anyone else and we get the reset. And in the last teamfight, he ulted the TF that had QSS. So like that was pretty well played by Impact. Like he knew he will mind control Jensen to ult him. He legit ulted on top of him, got ulted and then flashed cleans away. Like
Yeah,
QSS
that's true.
flashed
Impact did
away.
taunt them that fight.
That was like a world-class performance by Impact, because he just legit
Inspired hates
TP'd on
vegans,
top of Ani
confirmed.
to force him to ult him, and then he knew that even if he dies, they will not lose. But he has QSS and flash.
No,
so he
guys,
will
he's talking
escape.
about a different game. Like
So
he didn't
played
get it
very well
confused.
that
It's just
game.
the interview got
And
cut
game
up.
4,
Inspired is a
we got really big
carnivore.
lead.
He doesn't
I
eat
think,
vegetables ever.
Jensen just misplayed level 4. Like he shouldn't play so fast. Like Talia was really low with no TP, no flash, and we had like such a big advantage because we already won the fight on Raptors. So if you played a bit slower there, I think we will be Thanos mid jungle for the rest of the game. But we died, we slowed down the game. Our bot lane managed to find a good dive, then we dived them again. And then I think the TP advantage from Bwipo came into the play. I mean from Impact. Impact just played TP and just never TP to top. He just perma kept it to not let us make plays. And yeah, we just couldn't snowball too hard. And then I think in the team fights, maybe we misplayed. I don't remember the team fights in game 4. I would need to review it. But for sure we misplayed some kind of team fights. I think I was not too happy with how I played in game 4. But yeah, I think just I don't know. After I made that mistake in game 3 that we were not decisive to kill them on top side, I was like, oh my god, why am I still vegan? And then I just couldn't really focus for the rest of the game. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but I think I'm to blame there. Yeah.
Was that a true example of tilt? Like, do you think like
Maybe, but not
like another
really.
level of tilt, right? Because usually
Yeah.
when we think of tilt, you're like, you're angry, you know you're angry, but fuck it. But
Yeah.
this was like, I'm in finals, you're a champion.
Yeah.
You know how to do it, and you still, there was like a little off.
Yeah, I just like I didn't go for the play, and then I kind of didn't have that clutch factor for the rest of the game. I made mistake, and I was like thinking, okay, I mean it's fine, obviously it's fine, but we could have still won the game. But
I can't believe that they didn't feel like a huge problem was playing a shit ton of engaged champs into Talia Tom Kench. You know, like I don't know, like I'm watching the games and it's not only just my opinion, but I'm backed up by pro players randomly showing up in my chat, Pobelter, Spica. Like we're watching the games together, right? And I think Revenge was also there for the finals, and he agreed. Like we all have the same opinion, which is, it's like not easy to win these games when you're picking like this into this, right? Like I don't really understand how. I think like he could be upset the way his teammates played for sure, but it feels like he's kind of going hard in this interview, which is I don't know. That's up to him if he wants to do that or not. But like. I don't really think it would be a good idea, in my mind, to play something like this into something like that. I mean, like, here, let's look at game 3. 3 weeks ago, 5 days ago. Maybe he was talking about game 3, right? Was he? He was talking about game 3 as far as, like... It was Jensen not flash mantra Wing on Karma. Yeah, so he was talking about game 3 about how he got tilted because of a top fight. He thought, okay, let's see. Let's take a look. Jax got really fed off of this. Let's see. So they're getting top.
Running around and gold carding people, so he's got to find some sort of action on the map.
Okay, Jensen and Inspired gonna try to get this kill on Imp.
People, so he's got to find some sort of action on the map.
Okay, Jensen and Inspired gonna try to get this kill on Impact. Here they drop the Timbers, but Umpty's ready to respond. Now the GP all trying to keep Jensen alive, but it ain't gonna work here just yet. Inspired needs more damage. They finally kill Impact off, but Umpty's about to make it 2.
I think as far as like bad plays go, going 1 for 2 is like, it's bad, right? But I don't think going 1 for 2 is like supposed to tilt you. I mean, nothing is supposed to tilt you as a pro player, but going 1 for 2 there. Okay, Inspired. Okay, let me just back up to what Inspired said about the play again.
A true example.
We had like such a big advantage because we already won the fight on Raptors. So if you play the beat, he knew that even if he dies, I think we will be Thanos mid jungle for the already won the fight on. And then I think the TP advantage.
Okay, never mind. I can't find it, but he basically was upset that Jensen didn't flash earlier. He was upset that Jensen didn't flash right now. Right now. Just like go.
Okay, Jensen
Just flash.
gonna try to get
So it's not okay. I understand that, like, as a spectator, Jensen should have went faster and pulled the trigger faster. Definitely agree with that. But
this kill on
I don't.
Impact.
Yeah, like, and then what happened at the hesitation is like mentally Inspired is like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna go. So his mouse is over here, and then he doesn't go in. He W's backwards because he wants to get out. And Jensen goes in. It's kind of terrible synergy. I get it. But bro, like Bwipo literally went AFK as well, and it's just like good timing by them. I don't know, that doesn't seem like a moment where.
Decisive to
Let's keep
kill him on
watching.
top side. I was like, oh my god, why am I still vegan? And then I just couldn't really focus for the rest of the game. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't go for the play, and then I kind of didn't have that clutch factor for the rest of the game. I made mistake, and I was so
Keep going.
we lost fights. Like I played mediocre fights after. I think my teammates like Jensen played kind of bad in the team fight, so we lost. But I know that if I played better in the first fight, that the team fight would be just free win. So it's on me. Yeah, I think I just need to play on top of my game if I want to win. I can't be just a passenger in the game. So if I make mistakes, it's my fault, I guess.
When this is your first time losing a series, right? Which is
Inspired talked about Bwipo going AFK as well in the press conference. I don't think he is upset just being candid about what he
frustrating part
lost.
of being on the upper side of the bracket.
Yeah.
You're a direct guy. Do you have these same type of conversations with Jensen, who is a veteran, and you assume he can take these types of conversations?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jensen is not used to playing this way. I think he always had vegan teammates. And
Who would play for him?
no, like I think his teammates were never good at making space, never good at playing aggressive. Like I think he's just not used to playing the game this way. Like right now when I'm
I need to
playing
get
him
a
and I'm
counter
telling
for
him
this.
that his health bar is like his resource. Like he can use his health bar in the team fight for the team. Like even if he dies, casts every spell, his teammates, if they play well, they will win the fight for him if he engages a good fight. And sometimes like you see him a lot using TP or like even running top to roam. It's usually coming from me and Bwipo calling him to do that, because we try to tell him that mid lane is not just like 1v1 lane. You can actually impact the game and make the game so much easier for everyone else to play. And I think it's just completely new style for him, because before it was just he's just playing in an A, just last hitting minions, and whatever happens, happens. But right now we are just trying to create opportunities and play as a team well. In team fights, take space for each other. In early game, like help each other in lanes, like take over lanes if someone is losing, so the guy can get relieved and like play his lane again. And it's for sure more hard, because there's an action going on all the time. And if you fuck up your tempo, we are all gonna flame him, because we can't play the game because he fucked.
You know, theoretically, I think that Inspired is 100% right. Like in NA, people play super scared. They don't want to play aggressively. They don't want to take risks. They're not willing to walk and take a 50-50. And it creates not only boring games to the viewers, but it creates like a bunch of players who are just sitting there on their contract, just kind of coasting. So everything he said, I fully agree with that philosophy about the game. Like ideally a team should all be creating space using their health bars as resources. Like I love what he said. Just kind of like by stepping up and committing to the fight, you're creating opportunities for everyone else, or pushing your lane and moving. That is like prime good high level kind of like thinking. So but man, the way how many times he said vegan, someone said in my chat, someone said take a shot every time he says vegan, and then someone else said I blacked out. That's how I feel too.
Fucked up his tempo and he doesn't want to help them up. So it takes time to learn that. I think we are good at it. We just kind of choked today.
Who helped you learn that type of style of mid lane, and who do you think helped with
That style of mid lane, bro. I could let me just jump in real fast again. You watch any of the top teams in the world play, no one is playing scared. Everyone is creating space for each other and playing confidently because they're good players, they're a good team. That's just how you play the game. Like, that's just literally that's just the basics.
Learn that style mid lane. That might be a stretch, but
I don't know. I think we're just me and Buipo are just really good at the game. That we just know how to create opportunities for each other. Like Buipo will trade hard when he knows it's good for the game. Sometimes, I mean, obviously we make mistakes. Like I think I made some mechanical mistakes. I think Buipo overplayed his lane. Like when Cassante already TPs back to lane, Buipo still has TP, so he knows the proper play is just walk out, base TP, and his lane is still in a good position. But he like tries to squeeze in
squeeze the extra
wave and then base. And I think it will work against vegan players that will be scared to
not
punish
Impact.
him. But Impact is not
punished
vegan.
him
Impact is good. Like he is not vegan at all. If
Guys, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. He's saying the word vegan so much. So somebody's asking, what does it mean? It just means a pussy player. I mean, like I was coached by Nuke Duck last year as well, and he used the word vegan like this as well. Basically, it just means like pussy or just like bad.
if he sees that you are making
Vegans
a
right now?
mistake, he will just punish you.
I swear,
carnivore.
vegan fucked his
Yeah.
girlfriend.
So he played well there. Who teach me and Buipo? I don't know. I think it just comes.
Is it a
natural-
European thing? How about
I
that?
think it's just maybe European thing, but yeah, I think it's for sure European thing. I think in NA people are just not playing the game like that. I think right now TL is playing the game full tempo. Like every other team in the league, they are not playing well as a team with each other. But in TL, you can see that they're playing like an LPL team, and they are trying to help each other all the time and play with tempo, camp on their vision, camp with brushes, group a lot, and try to engage the fights. And I don't know why did it happen. They randomly learned that, and we also randomly learned that. Like once we came to playoffs, I think we did a podcast with George and me, and I said that we are working on our tempo play and to play better as a team. And Impact said that they're doing exactly the same, and I could see it in playoffs. Like they actually improved a lot on that, and we did improve on that a lot as well. So I think we're just both pretty strong teams. I do believe we are better mechanically though, and if we played better mechanically today, we would win. I think we just underperformed. I don't.
Buipo has so much ego, but always chokes in the finals. Somebody brought up an interesting stat. I don't know if this means a lot, but Buipo is like, he has like a crazy win rate on Renekton, and he has a horrible win rate on everything else combined. Maybe it was just in playoffs, so they took like a really small sample size. But against TL banned Renekton quite a lot, and yeah.
I don't think they did anything special. I think we're just worse.
Somebody might have that stat.
Otherwise, you know, I'd have this conversation for you forever on a bunch of different topics, but media's, you know, checking
Yeah, I
in.
would be down to talk forever.
What's your message to the Fly fam who are proud of you for going MSI? A little bummed that you didn't win, but proud of you going for MSI.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super sad we lost. I'm like fine with it because I'm still going to international tournament, which is like the goal actually. Like I think if we go there, we will be able to improve a lot. And going to planes, I'm always saying going to planes is actually an advantage for you because it's better to go to planes and learn something there. You have a higher chance of winning in an actual bracket. It's not that fun to go into the tournament, play Genji first round. Like you are still nervous because it's first game of the MSI, you have to face Chovy Canyon and you're just losing peace. Like I don't wish TL to do that, but I have a feeling they will face either either T1 or Genji in their first game. They're gonna lose in peace and it's not gonna be a fun experience. While maybe we can first play against the worst teams and ramp up or like.
You know, like a vibe I kind of got from this, like because of what he said about him and Buipo, a vibe I kind of got with this is like they're the boys and like everyone else is not a part of the boys. You know, like I kind of I think it's honestly, you know, this is a bit of a hot take. I think it's fine to kind of like plainly say why you lost, even if your opinion is wrong. You know, in the case of like him saying that Jensen played like a vegan in game 1, I don't know if Jensen can have a fucking huge thundercock as Karma, like checks notes Karma mid. Like I would have maybe understood. He's like, yeah, he played like such a pussy, and I opened the game up and he's playing Annie, he's playing Ari, he's playing fucking Karma. You guys drafted him Karma, and you want him to make a play against, let's see here, Tom Kench protecting Smolder Talia and 2 hard tanks. Like I just like okay, whatever. We'll just completely discard that part. I just felt like it's actually like in my opinion, it's actually fine if he says like, hey, we lost because this player wasn't doing this. In this other game, bot lane lost. In this other game, this play went badly. It went badly because, you know, I didn't go for like I do think that like in some ways throughout the interview he's been taking blame, right? Like he said like I shouldn't have played the way that I did, and like I played badly here and I got tilted here. Like I do think that he's taking part of the blame, but the vibe that I got like by the end of the video, and we're on the last minute and a half, it's like him and Whippo are like fist bumping, like, dude, we're the best players ever, fucking like kissing on the mouth, and then like they just spit all over everyone. Like he basically didn't have anything good to say about anybody except for himself and Whippo. Like that's how I interpret. Like I think I always try to like preface, like let's say like I criticize one of like a play that happened, you know, oh I think Bjergsen like could have done this and then we would have won the fight. It's like, but like everyone kind of knows like the underlying thing is like, whoa, I think that my teammates are all good players, but
like get a bit of confidence, and if we lose to the worst teams, then we lose to obviously the better teams as well, so then there is no even point facing them if we can't beat the lower teams. So I mean, I'm happy people were cheering for us. We almost won the first title for FlyQuest. That's like what...
Yeah, I do think it's also really uncomfortable that he's constantly praising other players while putting his teammates down. I think like that in a combo, like if it was just one or the other, it's not nearly as bad, but when you combo that in the same interview, it's kind of like, yo, wish we had JoJo. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't feel good. If you're in a relationship with a girl and you're constantly hyping up some other girl and then also putting your girlfriend down, that doesn't feel good. Like I just think it's just he's not over his ex. Yeah, like I'm just getting that vibe. And like, you know, I'm just autistic, slightly, you know, high functioning, but I'm watching this interview. That's what I'm reading here.
I kind of didn't come up to expectations. Like people wanted FlyQuest to win their first trophy. I knew that my whole organization was really cheering for us to get the first trophy, but yeah, we didn't manage to do that. I think the blame is kind of on me. I think me and Buipo were usually the stars of the team. I think today both of us kind of underperformed.
You know what I feel like sometimes too, and maybe I'm reading it too much. When you say the blame is kind of on me, you're doing the half. You're kind of doing the yeah, I admitted that it was my fault, but like not really. You know, it's like your hand is like half in the cookie jar, and you kind of want the praise of like, wow, so responsible, you know, admitting that he has flaws too, but like not really fully admitting it. So you kind of want like the positive of admitting that like it's also partially your fault, but you definitely don't want to fully accept the responsibility because, you know, that would just be too much.
In the clutch
but once again, it's his second language as well. So I don't know. I don't want to fucking start a witch hunt against Inspired.
And that's
he might beat me up. He's pretty jacked.
He could have easily stepped up and carried those games, or like just played to our level.
Sorry, let me listen again.
I think he could have easily stepped up, and we're usually the was really cheering for us to get the first trophy, but yeah, we didn't manage to do that. I think the blame is kind of on me. I think me and Buipo were usually the stars of the team. I think today both of us kind of underperformed in the clutch moments, and that's why we lost. I think we could have...
I don't know why. It's just like the idea of them just like fist bumping and like being best buds and then just like spitting on everyone else. Like
he could have easily stepped up and carried those games, or like just played to our level. I think Masu played very well for the final. I think overall, Masu, I think, is just the biggest improvement I see. Like comparing Jensen, Masu, or Busio, I think Masu is just improving from game to game. And I'm kind of sad that we didn't manage to win it for him.
Well, you have more games to play internationally. My MVP, and should be yours at home. If you weren't upset that Inspired didn't win MVP, you should be upset. Casper Inspired, Shloma, everyone. Thank you so much, man. I'll see you over at MSI, brother.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I mean, okay, you know, he had a good thing to say about his... He had another good thing to say about his teammates as well. We can ship Masu with the boys now. Like, Masu's in between. Like, he's kind of partially part of the boys. So what... I'm officially on the hate train. Seems like he hates Jensen if he's only bringing up one person's problems, but not Balling's problems. I mean, look, guys, I'm a huge... Masu was kind of like meat riding my Lucian play from season 6. He seemed like a big fan. He seems like a great guy. I watched his drive video. I have nothing but good thoughts about him, and I want him to succeed. Buzio is, one of my best buds in the scene. He's like, I wish him nothing but success. With that said, bot lane completely underperformed. And maybe Inspired has different expectations for each player. He thinks Jensen has a 10-year career. He expects excellence every game. He obviously expects him and Whippo excellence every game. Maybe he has lower expectations for bot lane and he doesn't want to... Like, he feels like his bot lane cannot take it the way that Jensen can take the criticism. But, looking back on the games, I just feel like bot lane really underperformed in the finals, particularly in lane. I mean, there was... Let me just look at the 10-minute mark every single game. So game 1, the bot lane got slaughtered. Game 2... Oh, actually, game 2? Game 2, their bot lane was doing really well. And they win this game, by the way. So bot lane played really well in game 2. They actually did. So 1-1. Maybe I'll eat my words.
Looking a little cooked for impact. It's
Game 3, bot lane got slaughtered. And then Fly versus TL game 4. I remember the hooks were hitting. Core JJ Nautilus was unleashed. Okay, let's see. Game 5. I think I know what happened here. Well, to be fair, Buzio Rumble. Wait, they actually did really well this game. They actually did really well. Wait, they lost this game? Sweet Jesus, they lost this game. Holy, they lost this game.
By blowing the ghost, they earn themselves.
Was this the Sneaky Baron game? No, this was the Start Baron with Lista again game. Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna eat my words. I was completely wrong. I think their bot lane played pretty well in the finals. I'm actually more thinking about the prior game in the prior series. They're probably getting roasted. But I think going 2-2 in lane against Yon and Core in the finals, especially for a bot lane with this much experience, that's really impressive, actually. Like, really impressive. This is Massive's first split in the LCS. We're forgetting top gap. I mean, yeah, Impact gapped Whippo pretty hard. Okay, so let's see what Reddit says about this. Let's see what Reddit has to say about Inspired. I thought the title was an exaggeration, but man, Inspired spends 8 minutes flaming Jensen as the main problem in their team in the finals for being vegan, having bad team fighting, bad decision making, not creating opportunities, not knowing how to win games, not knowing how to create tempo for the team, etc. Says he and Whippo have to constantly tell Jensen how to play the game because Jensen never got a chance to learn from playing with shit NA teammates. Directly compares Jensen to JoJo and says JoJo does what Jensen doesn't. Yeah. You know, when this guy puts it this way in a condensed form like this, like we watched a 10-minute interview, right, with a lot of interruptions. When he puts it in a condensed form like this, he's not wrong. This guy's not wrong. I gotta upvote that. That's true, right? At the end, Inspired does say it was ultimately him and Whippo who were responsible because they are the main stars and didn't step up that day. I wonder if Jensen being unsupportive/engaged champs the entire finals was because they were arguing so strongly for top carry/counterpicked. He does credit Impact a bit, doesn't put much blame at all on Whippo, his EU bro. That's what I don't like, man. I don't like that it feels so targeted. It feels so targeted that he didn't say a word about Whippo when Impact was gapping him like almost every game. You know, the only game that FlyQuest won in the finals seems to be with Whippo on Renekton, which is what I was saying earlier. I don't know, bro. I don't know, like... I don't think Whippo played horribly. I think Impact played really well. But like there were some mistakes Whippo made that was pretty crazy. It's also kind of weird he talks about how Jensen doesn't know how to play because of who his teammates have been when he's played with most of the best all-time players in NA, including playing with Impact for years on C9/DL. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I'm not going to try to like fucking insert myself into the conversation or anything, but certainly like if you look at TL 2019, which is the roster that I played with Jensen, we were not like what Inspired is saying, like, oh, like vegan playstyle, just sit back and hope for the best. Like, guys, like if you think that Team Liquid was playing slow in 2019, like I don't think we're like watching the same games. Like we were like a very, very snowbally team. I mean, there are games that slowed down, obviously, it's just the nature of NA, but when we got a lead, like, the enemy team never won. So, yeah, that's kind of cap. It's okay, though. Maybe Inspired didn't keep up with Jensen's career because he's so young. Yeah, I think he's just projecting a bit on, oh, this region sucks. No way Jensen could have improved before he played with me. The super genius. I saw this interview and could not believe what I was hearing, to be honest. Let me try to separate myself from the Reddit comments. Is what he said that bad? Yeah, it's fucking awful. Yeah, never mind. It's terrible. If I was Jensen, I'd be fuming, and not only that, I would have a very hard time trusting that Inspired would ever respect me as a player, and the team environment would definitely be damaged forever. I don't like even if Inspired apologized, even if said, "Hey, Jensen, I said that in the heat of the moment. I'm sorry." I don't think that is even enough I didn't mean it. I was just upset. Maybe if he says he didn't mean it, maybe if it's a truly genuine apology, I doubt that will happen. Maybe on Planet Krypton that would happen, but I don't think. Yeah. I'm sorry. You said one of the last comments is FlyQuest GM. Can you link that? FlyQuest GM commented somewhere to defend Inspired's comments. Yeah. I think if you say this kind of stuff to your team privately, what Inspired said to about Jensen, if he said that to him face to face, would be a tame conversation. It would actually be a pretty chill one. Let me see. Where is Andy Barton? FlyQuest GM here. We have a very candid culture. Historically, Inspired has always been a transparent and direct player with his teammates. He can always do better at interviews, but this culture we have established is what will continue to allow us to be a top-performing team. Inspired will always be straightforward and honest with his teammates to help propel them forward as players. There's a lot fans do not get to see behind the scenes, but assure folks that the relationships here are very solid and will continue to help push us to become a stronger team. I feel like on one hand of this conversation is like, you shouldn't get offended on someone else's behalf if they are not offended themselves. You know how that happens like on Twitter and stuff and online all the time. It's like, yo, it's not okay for you to say that about your friend, and then the guy comes out and the person comes out, it's like, yo, this is just like, it's cool, this is just how we talk. Like, you shouldn't get like offended on my behalf if I myself am not offended or upset by it. But on the other hand, I feel like if I was like, I can imagine being in Jensen's position, and it's like, well, what do you do if it is bothering you, and if that does like actually kind of like damage your confidence? What, you tell your teammate like, yo, this culture we have, I don't really like it. I don't know. Like, I just don't imagine that a pro player or a pro team would have that conversation. So what I'm saying is, I don't think it's good, regardless. I get that European players are more honest and direct and more open with the criticism. I'm a huge proponent. I mean, ask any teammate I've ever played with. Do you think that I pulled my punches when it came to criticizing them? But I just think there's like a level where it's like, oh shit, that was too far. Legit punch him in the face. Flaming your teammates in private is different than bashing them on public. Exactly. I have flamed my teammates so hard in private. I have flamed them so, I'm like, holy fuck, like, how could you play like that? That was crazy. And then I'll go over like, dude, like this, and this, and you've made this mistake like 100 times. I've seen you fail this mechanic like 50 times. Like, you need to get to the practice tool and start practicing. But publicly, it's not gonna come off the same way. But maybe the thing is that Inspired just doesn't know that, or he doesn't care. Yeah, it's possible. I just read this random comment. There's an Odo interview where he strongly implied Inspired was awful to play with. I mean, I think it's undeniable that Inspired is really good. And when you're really good, anything goes, and literally anything goes. When you're really good, you can act however the fuck you want. And that's just I know that that's like a tough pill to swallow, but when you're really, really good, people will look the other way because damn, this player, like, he's just too good. Like, we can't just like fucking kick him because he's acting a certain way. It's hypocritical he's slamming Jensen, not Whippo. Yeah. Does anyone else think Inspired's obsession with JoJo is starting to get a little weird? Oh my god. Do y'all want to play with him? Impact want to play with him. C9 wanted him. Maybe he's just good and has value. Yeah, bro, that's not the point. Like, it's not, the point is not that JoJo is or isn't really good. The point is that Inspired brings JoJo up every time I see him talk. If he opens his mouth, I just expect him to talk about JoJo. No one is saying JoJo's a shit player. It's just funny because Inspired, I feel like he's talked about him every time. Little bro has a JoJo poster in his bedroom. Can we get a response from Jensen instead of this PR bullshit? Yeah, I don't think Jensen is gonna say anything. God Soccer Mom thinks the